Good morning. Happy Monday. We return from our week-long vacation to the real world. Let's see. So we need to get all of our shit together here. Good morning, Rampla. How you doing? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We're in the final days of 2026 here, or 2025, sorry. Yes, I am up at it again, indeed. It is indeed a grind, that is for sure. But it's a fun grind, you know? I mean, I could be waking up early to get my ass in the truck and go to a job site, you know? I could be one of them blue collar guys who's working from 4 in the morning till 4 at night. Instead, I get to live my cushy white collar office job life. Hello, crew. How are you doing? Went to your channel to see if stream was up, and same second you turned on the stream. Nice. Well, you know, we have good timing. What can we say? What can we say? You get this list for another cup of coffee? Yeah, 100%. Let's do another cup of coffee. I'm not through my first cup of coffee yet, but I gotta see. Get my phone plugged in here. I forgot to plug in my watch last night. Plug in my watch. All right. Okay, housekeeping things. We need to make sure the Discord people know that we are here. Rekla? Hello, Rekla. How are you doing? Let's see. I think my Discord bot died again. I need to go figure out why it keeps dying. I'm actually reading about C3, which is modern continuation of C. Interesting. Yeah, I've heard people always seem to refer to C++ based on its version number. Does C really have like versions anymore? Like, do people still iterate on the C language? Forgive me if that's a dumb question, but I'm just curious. Alright, we got that. Now I have to go back to our channel. C3, huh? C3. Alright, we got that. We need to kick off our Discord event. Kind of like Go with modules. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So C doesn't have modules. I'm sorry. I'm a total noob when it comes to C. I've never used it before. So they don't have modules or packages or anything like that. Good morning, Ulas. Thanks for being a member, man. How are you? How are you doing this morning? Let's see, upload cover image. Okay, got that going on. All right, let's make sure we didn't get any new members overnight, which is not really a thing that happens a lot, but... Oh shit, we did get a new member. Fuck yeah, we got a new member. Good man, how about you? Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah, I cannot complain. My lot in life is probably better than I deserve, you know? I'm healthy, my kiddos are healthy, my wife's healthy. It is pretty cold here, though. I think it dropped. Yesterday morning when I woke up, it was 64 degrees Fahrenheit. When I went to bed, it was like 10 degrees. It was crazy. Literally in the span of like an hour, it dropped 40 or 50 degrees. It was crazy. What is it right now? It's 10 degrees. No, 12 degrees Fahrenheit. It's crazy cold. So other than that, you know, life is pretty fucking awesome. Let's see. We need to go to membership monitor. We need to open up the list of members. And then we have to make this call to the API. Wow, yeah, it is cold. Yeah, it's cold. So other than that, man, I'm doing good, you know? Honestly, though, I would prefer... So here's my thing with weather. I always tell people that I would much prefer to be cold than to be hot. And here's the reason why. When you're hot, you can only take off so many layers of clothing before you're just, you know, you're butt-ass naked. And now you're violating, you know, other people's comfortability. But when you're cold, you can basically put on an unlimited number of layers, and you're not really bothering anybody, you know? Okay, now we need to do .NET index.cs. Cool. We got ourselves a new member on the list. Let's go. Also, dang, negative 10 degrees. It's not negative. Nor, I guess it's negative 10 degrees Celsius, but it's 12 degrees Fahrenheit. I always forget you guys are in those countries that use the proper metric system, and I'm in this backwards country called America where we're stuck on the imperial system. Maybe one day we'll come around to the light, you know? LL Imperials, okay. Dude, I don't... So as somebody who went to school for biochemistry, right, did a degree in science, you know, a science degree, like just switch the metric system. Having things all based around base 10, right? Like, let's just switch. We should all just use SI units, to be honest. Well, yeah, we probably should. But at least the metric system is, you know, at least we'd be able to talk with our colleagues across the pond. What's up, Arvin? Good morning, bro. By the way, you could blank the same project with blockchain, which is simple to integrate. Also, Stripe fee, no Stripe fee. Okay, well that might be a fun project to learn blockchain then. Yeah, that might be really fun. That actually might be a great like beginner project, right, for the blockchain community. Like, how do we get people introduced to blockchain? Well, let's build a site where they can accept, you know, simple donations or simple payments for things. I'm probably not going to stop what I'm doing to do that, but definitely piques my interest. For me, I use Imperial System. People will think I'm mental. Really? But Artwork Studios, you're not based in the United States, are you? You're somewhere overseas, right? Arvin, let me tell you what. Today, our national currency rises 5%. It ate yesterday's fall. Imagine your national currency swings 5% in a single day. One day, next day. I can't imagine that. Yeah, and that's why I said the other day, like, if I was in that situation, I'd probably be looking to either immigrate or definitely use something other than my national currency. That's crazy. No need stopping. You can just add it. Oh, cool. Well, there we go. Good idea. That would be pretty funny. Well, how can I buy you a coffee? Well, you have to understand blockchain, and you need a Bitcoin. You need a cryptocurrency. Hey, Toad Sage, what's up, man? Long time no see. How you been? How you been, sir? How's Japan? Right? You're still in Japan, right, Toad Sage? Oh yeah, a coffee is definitely 10 Bitcoin. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 10 Bitcoin. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, you really appreciate my YouTube channel, and you really appreciate my GitHub, the code on my GitHub. Great, yeah, 10 Bitcoin. Send them on over. Long time no see. Yeah, for sure, long time. What, sir? I'm fine. Sir is just like a salutation used to show respect and politeness. What? Did you just type in the chat, Artwork Studio? That is the most brand. Okay, yep. See you, Artwork Studio. Duck. Hey, what's up, Duck? How are you? Good morning, man. How you doing? I'll be. Yeah, man. You. Go ahead. Handle whatever you need to handle. All right. Did my chat about my father. What, Arvin? What are you saying? Your father passed away? Is that new or recent? What? Form data is declared, but its value is never read? Oh, this is because I never implemented this is because I haven't actually implemented this. So let's just console log console.log. Let's see, payment form. Error is declared, but its value is never read. Doing well. Hope everyone's also doing great. Yeah, I have no complaints, man. No complaints at all. Hey, what's up, Holy Excalibur? You're here earlier today. Nice. Good to see you, man. Toe said, yep, I'm still in Japan and now have PR of it along with a house in Kyoto. I think I mentioned this earlier. What's now have PR of it mean? Also, congratulations on the house. It's always a big deal. Arvin, yesterday my father invested in gold. Today, after 5% fall, he feels market dumped him. Oh, that sucks. Stephen, YT deletes chats that have the term investment. Oh, I didn't know that. I wonder why it does that. Permanent residence. Well, congratulations, man. Congratulations on the... I knew you had permanent residence, I think, but congratulations on the house. I did not know about that. Or I don't believe I knew about that. Let's see, localhost. All right. All right, so the thing is right now, this works the way it should, right? The only thing we need to change right now is we need to actually connect this to our backend, because right now it's not connected to our backend. So let's go over here. And let's actually do the thing. So we can assume at this point we actually do have a proper valid amount and a proper valid email. So what we'll do is we will say fetch, and we want to fetch at the same endpoint. Yep. And we are going to do a post, and we need headers. Yep, we're going to do that. We'll make this asynchronous so we can await it. Okay. And then we'll say if, yep. We need to figure out how better to display this. Handle error and display message. And then if that is successful, we will get our data. And then we will set our data to the client secret like this. Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's all we need to do. So let's see if this works. Give this a little inspect. That way we can watch the network tab. Alright, we'll do one amount. We'll hit buy. It worked! Let's go! So it was kind of like flashy though. We probably need to have maybe a loading indicator or something once we hit the submit button. But it did work. Send our request. We got a secret. Alright, so now we should actually see in our Stripe dashboard. I gotta blow my nose real quick. Steven, your nose is running away. Yeah, I gotta go blow my nose real quick. One sec. I'll be right back. Good morning, Tad. How are you, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. There's a dog screwing our dog. Why are Artwork Studios, why are you just dropping that in the chat? Japan is a great place. So when are you planning to visit Japan? I would love to visit Japan. There's so many places I'd like to visit. I'd like to visit Japan. I'd like to visit Ireland. I'd like to visit some place in the Middle East. I've never been to the Middle East. I'd like to visit there. I'd like to visit Germany, Australia. There's a lot of places I'd like to go. But traveling's expensive, man, especially when you're talking about a family of 4. MR Group Online. Good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you doing? Started using Obsidian yesterday. Oh, that's great, man. Obsidian's awesome. Arvin, wait a few years. Iran will be a nice place to visit. I'd visit there, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know some places are kind of hostile to United States citizens. So I think you have to always be kind of mindful of that. Makes taking notes a lot easier than the pencil and paper I use. Yeah, Obsidian's a blast, man. That's the one thing I wish they would add support for in Obsidian is support for handwritten notes. Like if you're using an iPad, I wish you could have like a handwritten note in Obsidian. That's the only thing, because sometimes I really do like taking notes by hand with my Apple Pencil. I feel like I retain the information better when I take notes by hand often. Drecker, come to Salal? What's that? I've never heard of that place. I'm going to look that up. It's the capital of Oman. Huh. Wow, there's a lot of green there. Is there a lot of green there? No, it looks like it's in the desert. So what was that picture I just saw? It's famous for its unique tropical climate during the June and September monsoon, which transforms its desert landscape into lush greenery with waterfalls. Interesting. What a cool place to live. Very interesting. Oh, I was going to check to see in my Stripe dashboard if I had a new transaction. Stripe dashboard. Somesh, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. All right, I do. I have a new okay, cool. So we have payment intents we can create. Now we need to be able to confirm those payment intents, right? So let's go to the payment form. And so our redirect basically needs to just be wherever we currently are, and then we just want to append these attributes to it, right? I think. What else comes off this object? It either returns a never or a stripe error. When called, we'll attempt to complete any required actions such as authenticating your user by displaying a 3DS. Your user will be redirected to the return URL once the confirmation is complete. Huh. All right, let's just try to step through this. So in React, how do let's see, React, get access to current window location. Let's see, Holy Scalper. Does PSI DSS compliance by itself? Any idea about this, anyone? I don't know. Let me look. I don't know. I'm guessing they do. Yeah, like those are things that I don't really have to worry about. That's why you would use Stripe, right? Is because you don't have to deal with that. Window location.origin. Okay, let's do const redirect URI. Equals. Not that. I think I just want to redirect to the location. Window, yeah. So console.log, submit payment. See you, Arvin. Have a good day, man. Rock and roll. Next economic news is 2340 from now. Well, I guess you better go sit and wait for your next economic update. All right, I'm going to try this now. So let's go back to our site here. And we're going to do one buy. And then we can do card. And Stripe has a bunch of test cards. So we want to test with so these are cards you can use to test different decline codes. Which is pretty cool, right? It's pretty cool that they set all that up. So let's just test with one of these. We'll say Visa. And we do any expiration. What's today? 12/25, and we'll do 888. No, I don't want to save my information. We'll click pay now. And it looks like it worked. So it redirected with a bunch of stuff in the query params. So we have payment intent, the ID it looks like. We have the client secret. And then we have redirect success. So what does that tell me? Oh, and yeah, and you can see in my Stripe dashboard, look. We have one succeeded. Okay. So we're making progress. Now we need to figure out how we should handle that redirect. See you, Arvin. Have a good day, man. Okay. Interesting. You guys can't really see this, but they have an example of the completion page here. And so what they do in their application is whenever there's a completion, they're getting the search URL, they're getting the client secret, they're retrieving the payment intent using the client secret, they're getting the payment intent status and the payment intent ID. And then they're displaying some information there. So I need to basically do the same, I guess. The question is, do I want to bring in React Router and do I want to handle this with different paths, or do I want to just try to do this all in the spa, you know? Fabulous Gamer. Hi, sir. I'm a fresher in the context of development. One advice that you would pass on to me as my handsome senior? Well, I don't know if I'm handsome, and I don't know if I'm a senior, but I think that's awesome that you're getting into development. It's one of the most rewarding things that I've picked up as a skill and a hobby and activity. It's awesome. So I think that's cool that you're starting out with it. Let's see. My only advice would be build lots of stuff, right? Build lots of stuff. Get lots of reps. Spend a lot of time just working through how do I build something. When you see stuff, when you see other websites, other applications, think about how would I build that, right? How would I execute that functionality? It doesn't mean you have to necessarily go and do it, but maybe explore it. Explore it with code. Think about it in your head and then go explore it with code. I think that's a far more valuable use of your time in terms of learning and getting better than just constantly consuming tutorials and books and blog posts, you know? Good morning, Oblivious. How are you? Good to see you again. I gotta blow my nose again. For some reason, I have a runny nose this morning. Okay. The week is fresh and the year is ending. Yeah, I said that when I started the stream. I was like, we're in the final days of 2025, you know? Which is crazy to think about. I mean, when you think about a year, at the beginning of the year, it sounds like a long time. But then when you actually think about the numbers, it actually goes by really fast. Like you only have 52 weeks, 365 plus or minus a day there. It really feels like an eternity, but man, if you don't make use of that year, it slips right by. Fabulous Gamer. Okay, thank you for the advice. We'll keep it in mind. I just joined the stream, so if you can share what you're trying to build, that would be great. So this is a good example of the advice I gave you, Fabulous Gamer, where I've seen a lot of content creators, and I've seen a lot of, So I've seen a lot of content creators use sites like Buy Me a Coffee, which are essentially donation sites. They're essentially like tip sites is what they are. And I've seen a lot of people use these websites before. Let me see if I can find an example one. Buy Me a Coffee page. Yeah. So like, let's see here. Here's Teacher Stefano. I really don't know who he is, but he has a page here where you can go and say, hey, thank you for making your YouTube content, or thank you for making that software that I use all the time. Let me buy you a coffee, right? And this is a good example where I thought, you know what? I could sign up for their service, right? Or I could think about how I would recreate this type of functionality for myself, because I've never used a technology in an application that allows me to accept payments for somebody. So this is what we're building. First off, Fabulous Gamer. But this is a good example of where trying to spend your time thinking about how you would build something or how you would re-implement something somebody already else has. It may not be completely feature parity, but you'll definitely learn something from it, right? If you've never done it before. So that's what I'm building, and that's why I'm building it, is because I want to learn about the Stripe API. Hey, Butterscotch, good to see you, man. Sean Dev, hi, Steven, still implementing the Stripe API? Yeah, we're getting closer, though. We're getting closer. You guys will come to find I'm not the most productive developer on stream. I talk way too much. I drink way too much coffee. And I haven't been working on this project outside of stream. This has purely just been something I'm doing on stream. All right, so in our app.tsx, we need to get the query params. So let's do this really quick. Let's do console, or not console. Let's do const query params. And then let's do const client secret. Yeah, client secret, that sounds fine. And then let's do const redirect. Well, actually, hold on. So we basically know if we have this value here, we basically know we're loading the page after a redirect, right? So let's just say console.log page, if console.log loaded after redirect. Or maybe I should use React parlance and say rendered. Fabulous. I want to discuss an idea that I was thinking of recently, but don't know if it is practical. Shoot, man. Come along. Bob Knoll, that's why I keep coming back. The balance of code, coffee, and chat. Well, that's what you're going to get from this stream. And also, good morning, Bob. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're getting ready to end 2025 on a good note and start 2026 on a high note. We're here for the yap, to be honest. You answer questions and interact with the chat. Yeah. We're here for the yap. I love that. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. You guys make streaming way more interesting than sitting in a room talking to oneself. All right, so right now this should not ever... Dom Callie, thanks for subscribing, and also that username might be a little sus. Dom Callie, yeah. All right, let's try to. So we didn't get that log message, which is good. So let's try to buy, and then we'll pay. Oh, oops, we'll do card, and we will do this guy. I wonder if they have a dark mode. Do you think they have a dark mode for this thing? Let's see, 12. 29. Don't want to save that. We'll pay. Nope, not now. There we go. So it was. So this way we can detect that it was rendered after the redirect because we have those URLs. So what we're gonna do is we want to display, instead of displaying the forms, we want to display something else, right? So if secret's undefined and client secret from URL is null, then what we want to do is we want to do something different. How do we want to do this? This is where React ternary operators kind of get messy, right? So I guess we'll do this. The first thing we'll do is we'll check to see. First thing we'll check to see if we have a client secret from URL. And in this case, we'll say div thank you. Yep, like that. Otherwise, we will check to see if the secret is undefined. We'll render the donation form. Then we'll render the payments elements. Yeah, that'll work. So this actually needs to be something different. Like, it's not always going to be successful. This is actually going to be this whatever the status is of the payment. So let's go up here and say can remove this. And now let's test it again. Yep, there we go. But we don't want to render that. We actually want a card, I think. I think we still want to render this in a card. So let's make a new component called payment. Payment status form. TSX. Not form. Payment status card, maybe? Yeah, let's do this. And then what we'll do is we'll render that. In place. So over here. Payment confirmation card. Now we don't have the styles yet for this. And we're also going to want to pass in some other information. So we'll say, let's see, we'll say client secret. Say type. Yep. And then in here, we will fetch. Yep. Like that. All right, let me catch up on chat here for a second. Butterscotch, don't leak. We're not gonna leak, I promise. Nothing we're leaking is dangerous to leak. CMOS, thanks for subbing to the channel. Appreciate that. Naruto, I would appreciate if you make your stream 1920 by 1080. Well, you and everybody else, buddy. Okay, so Fabulous Gamer. So I had to study about theoretical cybersecurity and read about social engineering in that. One thing I had to read about social engineering in that. One thing I did learn was the phishing attacks and bugged link things used to fraud people. Yes, that's a real thing. So when I researched about the ways that the details of the victims is taken out, the biggest source I found was open source intelligence tools. Interesting. Now the tools actually extracted most data from social media websites where posts, comments, images, videos are extracted and the data taken out. Also, stalking of victims is another thing. Oh, that's awful. So if I try to build a system/web extension to prevent the users of social media platforms from doing such posts where their data may be leaked, will that make a practical thing? It sounds like a practical thing. I'm still not sure. I want to discuss here if possible. So I don't know if I totally understand the problem, but that's because I've only been thinking about the problem for like the last 30 seconds of me reading your messages. If you understand the problem well enough, you should just go explore it in code. Like I think we waste far too much time discussing what is possible instead of just going and trying to see if it's possible. So if I would say if you feel like you understand the problem space well enough, right? You understand what you need to, what you're trying to accomplish, I would go try to implement it and figure out, like you'll figure out very quickly, is this possible? Does it make sense? How hard is it? You'll answer all those questions much faster through actually trying to build something than you will sitting and talking about it. I often see this just in a professional setting a lot where we spend far more time talking about a feature than it would take to POC it. So it's like it to me it makes way more sense to just like send somebody off, build a minimal viable proof of concept, bring it back, demo it, or let us interact with it, right? Expose it over ngrok on your local machine or something. Let us all screw with it and see if we like it or don't like it, instead of spending, multiple meetings discussing like how difficult would it be valuable enough, is it the right idea. So that would be my recommendation to you, fabulous gamers. If you have an idea and you understand it well enough, because I don't think I understand the problem well enough, but if you understand the problem well enough, go try to sit down and build like an MVP of it. Hello, Born to Shine, thanks for being a member, man. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I think I might be getting sick. I think we had a lot of visitors in the house the last couple days, and I think I might have. My wife was complaining about feeling not great last night. I wonder if it's gotten me now too. Okay, as of now, I have explored around the whole thing, and I have built a web extension connected to LinkedIn for now. And I can get the post data when some user connected with the extension does. Nice. Well, that sounds like you're pretty far along then, right? Now you just have to figure out, I guess, what you do with the data, right? I mean, it sounds like I mean, if your question is, does it sound like a practical thing? It seems like it would be practical to stop people from accidentally leaking their data. How can I get some fine-tuned model to label the data as risky or not? That, I don't know, man. That's one of those questions. It's like, how do you, I don't know. I'm guessing you can get some model, there's probably some model on Hugging Face that you could start with, and then you'd have to go down the rabbit hole of how do you fine tune a model. I don't know how to do that. I've never done it before, but you'd have to. I think that's where you'd have to put your Google foo skills to work. All right, now we're gonna do const intent equals stripe dot retrieve payment intent, and then we can console.log the intent. All right, so let's try this full flow. Yeah, give it a refresh real quick. Uh-oh, did I break something? So we'll do one. Oh, hold on. It probably broke because I changed the signature of the payment confirmation card, didn't it? So this will be client secret equals that. So we do $, we buy, we use our card to check out. I wonder how people test this. That's something we'll have to figure out. How are we gonna test our components that have a dependency on Stripe? Right? We're gonna have to apply some sort of technique to figure that out. Probably have to mock it out or something. Okay, there's the buy, so we'll say pay. Not now. All right, something broke here. Let's see, could not find elements context. You need to wrap the part of your app that calls use Stripe in an elements provider. Interesting. Okay. So what we should do then is we should actually initialize the state of our secret from the client secret URL. Client secret from URL. And this is going to be null now, which means then down here, instead of doing all of this, we actually want to take that and pass it here. And then what we want to do is we want to say but how do we differentiate the client secret being set from Well, I guess it can be the same. I guess it can be the same check, can't it? It can still be. It can still be client secret from URL, and in this case, we render. It can still be this, right? What's it complaining about? The string, oh yeah, it's the wrong type. Null versus undefined. Okay, so we need to figure out how to deal with that. See, but as you read through the whole thing now, does it sound practical enough that it is usable? Yeah, I mean you won't you won't know if it's usable until you actually have something people can use, right? So I don't think making decisions about products based on your opinion or just one other person's opinion is a good way to evaluate your product idea. I think you need to build your product or build an MVP, and I think you need to get it in the hands of people who would actually use it. I think most other feedback outside of that is not very valuable. That's been my experience as a product developer in my former life as a food scientist. Yeah, you gotta actually have something people can interact with and try, and you gotta get it in front of those people and have them try it and collect that feedback. I once built an extension for Chrome that automatically skipped YouTube ads. After some time, it stopped working for some reason. The ever escalating war of people that want to show you ads and people trying to evade said ads. Let's see, I think Stripe might also have a dev mode where money can just be imaginary / mock type, where if the pipeline is correct, mock money will then be received. Yeah, I'll have to figure out how to set that up. Yeah, I'll have to figure out how. I think I'm using a test Stripe account at the moment. It's not in live mode, but I'll have to figure out how I'll make calls to the like I won't when I test my components. I don't actually want to hit the Stripe API, right? So don't want to do an integration test. So I'll have to figure out some way to actually mock out the calls to Stripe and just mock the responses. I don't know if I want to use like an interface for that and mock the interface, or if I want to try to use something like mock service worker. I'll have to think through that one. See you, Artwork Studios. Have a good day, man. Have fun working on your game. Fabulous Gamer. I used Razorpay once for payment integration and had a dev mode there. I will check out Stripe and let you know. Yeah, I'm definitely in dev mode on the real life Stripe account that I'm using, but when I'm running tests, I don't want to even talk to Stripe, dev mode or not. I don't want to run unit tests that make real live API calls to a backend or to Stripe or to the Stripe API. I just want to mock out those requests so I can test the logic in the component. Hello, creatives. How are you doing? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. What was I doing? Oh, I need this. To be undefined for type reasons. And then here what I'll do is I'll say if that's null, this starts as undefined. Now let's retry. Let's retry the whole flow again. Wait, this isn't right. That's not right. Oh, I'm missing there we go. There we go. Now everyone's happy. Thank you for your donation. Your payment was successful. We appreciate your support. Great. And then we should have the intent logged. Well, we should have it logged, but we're not awaiting the response. So let's go into here. And we'll await that. Oh, this is a... So I have to fetch this in a use effect, right? Phooey. Alright, so what's the proper way to do this again? I think you do use effect, right? And then you're going to have a dependency array, and you're going to say if Stripe is not loaded yet. We don't want to actually error here, but then we want to say when Stripe changes, we're going to rerun this. And we're going to say const intent well, hold on. What if I just do this instead of using use effect? What if I just do here and we say dot then? Just for now, I just want to print what the data is in this object. So we'll say dot then. What does this return? A payment intent, okay. Then we'll just console log it. I do like using React, but man, it's been so long since I've actually used it. Do something like that real quick. So there's our payment intent right here. So we have the amount, and that's in cents, not dollars. Then we have our secret, we have our confirmation method. Looks like we have like a timestamp of when it was created. Where's the status? Okay, there's the status. So it looks like there's a status object on the payment intent, which is great. And then we just need to stylize the card, and then we probably need to render a different message based on what that status is. Right? I think that's what we need to do. So yeah, if we could just... Hello, I Love Lamp, good to see you. React is beautiful and welcoming either way for new and existing devs. Well, I mean, beautiful might be a strong word, strong words, but I do like it. I mean, I like React. I like Vue much more than I like React, but I like React. I like Vue. I've liked every front-end framework that I've tried, I've enjoyed. The React CVE was making people panic so bad. Glad it's over. Yeah, the React CVE was kind of nuts, but everyone always gets really spun up about remote code execution exploits. As I understand it though, based on what I read about that CVE, is you had to be kind of somebody who likes to be on the cutting edge. And I don't think a ton of people probably are even using React server components at this point, if I had to imagine. I mean, it's still a very new technology, right? Maybe a lot of big tech, maybe big tech companies, right? But I gotta imagine most people who are building React sites are still using client-side rendering primarily. I have no data to back that up. That's just a vibes check. All right, we're gonna do. We're gonna have const intent status, right? Or let's just do const intent. Intent, set intent, use state. Are the types not available for this? Let's see. Payments. I guess not. Wonder, let's see, import payment intent. Flaming Flamingo, thanks for subbing, man. I appreciate your subscription. Christian Mirmo, thanks for subbing, man. Very kind of you guys. Or undefined. All right, so this is going to be an intent. And then this is where we have to this is where it should probably use something like React Query, right? So we'll do const let's see. I'm gonna actually do this. Type data equals status loading and then that is going to be a union with status loaded and that's going to have intent or that's going to be there. So then what we'll do down here is we'll use useEffect, right? Is useEffect still like the way you fetch data in a component? Let's see. It has been a minute since I worked with React. Is useEffect still the correct thing to use to load data in a component mounts? Okay, don't forget to make a shorts about the whole payment system. If it's done in the stream, I will be looking forward to it. For now, I will go and study DSA. Okay, man. Have a good time. Yeah, I can make a video about it for sure. I usually try to make a video about anything new I've learned. Let's see. While useEffect with an empty dependency array is still the mechanism for running code on mount, the React community and team have largely moved away from using raw useEffect. Not recommended for production. The standard approach, React Query. Oh, interesting. So basically people don't use the raw underlying React API anymore. People use some third-party package. Okay. I'm okay with that, honestly. I'll use the raw. But what I don't understand is, let's see. What what if I'm using a third-party SDK that doesn't support the abort controller? I'm guessing I can do something like this, where we can do, let's see, we can do use effect, right? And we say if there's no stripe, we have a problem. Otherwise, we'll do that. We'll set this. Why wouldn't there be payment data though? That's the thing. I don't know why. And then let's also handle the catch case. So we'll say error. Looks good. So we have error case. So we need to set, we should probably set something here where we should say set data. Yeah. So we should here, we should return. So if client secret changes, should that matter? Yeah, we need that in there. So then we'll just switch over. Let's do this. I don't have a success message yet. I basically just want to render that. I basically just want to say data dot status. So it's loaded. So let's refresh this. Let's go back to localhost. And we'll do 1. Bye. Hey. Yeah, this is gonna get pretty old. We need to automate this somehow. Running through these test scenarios is gonna get pretty boring pretty quickly. Yeah, so it was almost immediate, huh? Cool. But we're supposed to not. So we don't have an abort controller in here. So let's see. What did Gemini recommend for that? If the SDK doesn't support the abort controller, you have to solve the update on unmount problem a slightly different way. Since you can't stop the network request, you have to ensure you ignore the result if the component has unmounted by the time the request finishes. You can do this using the isMounted Boolean flag pattern. Hey, thanks for becoming a member, Fernando. That's super kind of you, man. I hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. I'll have to update my list of members. Hey, Bite Slayer, how are you? All right, you're building a... Yeah, I'm building a buy me a coffee site is what I'm doing this morning. But good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Thanks to Fernando, we have to go and update our list of members. Good morning, Root Monsters. Good to see you. How are you doing? Doing well? Let's see, update on the YouTube member list API, by the way. I'm still not big enough to warrant access. The only way you can get programmatic access to the members list is you have to have you basically have to be a large enough channel that you have a YouTube, like an assigned Google YouTube contact, who then can request access to that endpoint on your behalf. Which is so dumb. I don't know why that's the case, but so automating the update is still not something we can do at the moment. Which is really annoying. But what are you gonna do? You know, as Tony Soprano would say, what are you gonna do? Updating it manually isn't too bad though. I mean, I just copy paste, and then we do .NET index.cs, and we're good. And now Fernando's name will show up on our list. Thank you again, Fernando. We appreciate you. It's very kind. Fernando, I'll do it using Scraper API. Well, you're not supposed to. I think scraping YouTube is against their terms and service. So I don't want to do anything to anger the YouTubes. Doing good, thanks. How are you doing today, bud? I'm doing good, yeah. I might have some runny nose thing going on because I've had to blow my nose a couple times, which I haven't had to do on stream in a while. But other than that, yeah, I'm healthy. I mean, I'm semi-healthy, I guess. My wife's healthy, my kids are healthy, right? Like, nobody's truly, truly sick. I've got some coffee, I've got some Gatorade. I'm here in the morning talking to you guys, working on code. It's good, man. Fernando, don't worry, they won't know. I'm not risking it, Fernando. I would like to keep my YouTube account and my YouTube channel. I'm not risking it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Okay, so basically need a flag here that says is mounted equals true. And then we're gonna do async function. Yep. Excuse me. How much money should I send to this Stripe payment you're setting up? Where is the link? There is, well, first off, you can't send any money to it yet because it's not live. So there's nothing to send money to. But if you want to send money, send me $100 super chat. How about that? I'm just kidding. You don't have to send me any money, man. I have a full-time job. I don't do YouTube to make a living. I just do YouTube for fun. So I appreciate you becoming a member. That's enough. I'm primarily building this site primarily just so I can learn how to interact with the Stripe API. Is why I'm doing that. Unmounted. Cannot find is... Oh, we have to define that outside the scope? Well, that doesn't make any sense. Make cancelable? Oh, this is interesting.
I want to make YouTube for fun. Will you teach me?
Damn, Fernando, are you serious right now? Oh, shit. What the hell? Dude, you don't need to do that, man. I mean, first off, that is unbelievable. I don't even know what to say to express, like, gratitude and kindness to that generosity. I'm kind of speechless about the fact that you just did that. Like, I swear I have a full-time job. You don't have to, you don't have to do that. I will be happy to teach you how to make YouTubes. I don't think I'm very good at making YouTubes, but if you would like me to share what I do, I'd be happy to. Ari, thank you for subscribing. Yeah, Duck, Bite Slayer, I don't... I'm feeling super self-conscious at the moment. Can I pair with you and be your DevOps guy? Anybody else want to join me? Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to join. You're welcome to join our Discord. We have a Discord, so you're welcome to join in there if you wanna help us. But I don't need a DevOps guy. The thing, like, I'm perfectly capable of deploying and upkeeping all my applications, right? But I really appreciate the offer. I'm happy to give you any thoughts on making YouTubes, though, if you want thoughts on making YouTubes. Okay. On today's stream, Steven receives way too much generosity from another human and gets super fucking awkward. Bob Knoll sent clutch for 30 jewels. What's 30 jewels? Oh, I don't even know what that is. You sent a gift. Thanks, Bob. That's super nice, man. I don't know what that is, but it's got to be something. Bob says, I don't know what that was. I don't either, but hey, man, I'll take your jewels. Nothing wrong with some jewels. Let's see. We need monitoring, CIC on everything. Let's standardize this. We need security. We do need security to be priority, and that's why I'm using Stripe, so I don't have to worry too much about the security. I'm not really going to persist anything on my end except the amount of the payment and probably the person's, maybe their ID, or maybe just like a name if they want to give me a name. Otherwise, it'll just be anonymous. And as far as monitoring goes, I'll use OpenTelemetry for monitoring on the front and the back end, and then CI/CD, I use GitHub Actions is what I use to automate the deployments. Brute monsters. I applied for the Discord. Okay, one sec. Let me let you in. Let me let you in. This is kind of an interesting function, though. Kind of want to implement it. Let's see. Felix is in, and Root Monster is in. There you guys go. Both of you welcome to the Discord. Wait. Did Bob just send 20 gifted members? What the hell? Oh my goodness. That's nuts. Oh, one of the gifted memes went to Anonymous Panda. That's fantastic. Holy crap. This morning is going... What's happening? What's happening? Thank you, Bob. That's too kind, man. That is so kind of you. Oh, Ryan got a gifted meme. It's cool to see people that I recognize their usernames get gifted memberships. They're probably going to be like, what the hell? What? I haven't been to one of his streams in forever. Yeah, exactly. What is going on? What is happening? Guys, I'm gonna be. This is gonna get so awkward on this stream. I don't even. I don't know how to react to this. You know, like other than tell you not to do it. I don't even know what to say. Uh, guys, Fernando's got to show me up. I just, yeah. I mean, you guys know me. I just do YouTube for fun. I really don't. You guys work so hard for your money. You don't have to send it. Well, Fernando, that's super kind. That's super, super freaking kind, Fernando. This is wild. I apologize for all the alerts too. We're gonna let them all run though. Root monsters, reverse psychology, do not gift. I guess I don't know. So should I tell you guys to actually send me gifts, and that will mean you won't send them? What the? This is crazy. I mean, I want you guys to know I'm super appreciative of it. That's really, really kind that you guys would try to support my channel that way. I just wanted to let you know that that is not the expectation. So thank you very much. It's very, very kind of you. Somebody said something about Prometheus. I've been using Prometheus and Grafana for my logging lately. I use OpenTelemetry and I send everything to Seek. Which I think Prometheus and Grafana use OpenTelemetry too. Or support OpenTelemetry. Holy crap, this is nuts. Yeah, this is absolute nuts. There's gonna be so many people that show up in some of my streams, and they're like, I guess yeah, here, hey, what's up, Red Spartan? That yeah, so people always show up and are like, hey, I just got a gifted sub. You did get a gifted sub. In Lottie Bartos, Zabbix is greater than Prometheus. I've never used Zabbix, and I've only used Prometheus one time before, so I don't have too much of an opinion. Fernando, where do you work to do this? We're all gonna go work wherever Fernando works. We're still just on Bob's gifted. Well, I don't think we've even reached the end of Bob's gifted memes. Now we're starting Fernando's gifted memberships. Oh my goodness. I can turn that off. 70 gifted memberships and I didn't get one. The YouTube algorithm has something against you, Bob. Let's see, my buddy uses OpenTelemetry. I need to learn about this. It seems elite. Well, OpenTelemetry is really... The thing that's nice about OpenTelemetry is they have this idea of a collector. So, which means that you can essentially send all your telemetry to one centralized place. And then you can configure that collector to distribute it out to different backends, right? So you can have one place called, in OpenTelemetry parlance, they call this a collector, right? And so then you can have, you know, this guy can be sending information, let's say app A, and this guy can be sending telemetry, this could be app B. And they can all route their telemetry to the collector. And then the night we do this at work, is why I know about this and I have experience setting it up on myself, and I know we also use it at work. Is then the collector can be configured to send that telemetry data to multiple places, right? Which is really, really convenient. So if you ever want to swap out the tools that you're using to visualize that telemetry data, as long as that telemetry data, or as long as that backend supports ingesting OpenTelemetry, you can just add an entry into the collector's configuration to handle that. So like this could be Seek, maybe this is Grafana, this could be, I don't know, Honeycomb, right? It's super nice, super convenient. It works different on YouTube than Twitch. On Twitch, it only sends the gifted subs to people watching the stream. On YouTube, to every subscriber, I guess. Oh, interesting. That would be much better if they sent it to just the people watching the stream, right? Because I think some people probably received the gifted sub and they subbed to the channel like months ago and they've never come back, and so they're like, what's happening? Who is this guy? Fernando, I just asked Claude if I could use LogSAS agent to OpenTelemetry, and if OpenTelemetry could send that data to Postgres and New Relic. Well, it'll be interesting to see what Claude says. Akmaja just popped in. What was the diagram for? Oh, thank you for popping in, first off. Thanks for being a member. We're going to let all these members roll through, and then I'm going to update that list once they all roll through. So this diagram was about using OpenTelemetry. So if you want to instrument your applications with OpenTelemetry logs, metrics, traces, your app, once you do the instrumentation, your app is going to emit these things, right? They're going to emit the logs, they're going to emit the traces, but so you have to send those somewhere to use them, to store them, to visualize them, right? And there are a lot of different backends that support doing that. Seek, Grafana, Honeycomb, right? There's a lot of tools. And so what OpenTelemetry recommends is they recommend you setting up this thing called a collector. And that it's something that the OpenTelemetry group provides. And the reason you do this is so that you can have a centralized place that handles the ingestion of your telemetry data. And then that centralized place can also be used to direct your telemetry data to whatever backends you want to use, right? So you might use one backend for one reason, you might use one backend for another reason. You might want to collect a certain group of traces to send to one place and send another group of traces to another place. And so you can do that all in the collector's configuration. So it makes it very convenient and handy to swap out backends and to alter the traces and logs that you collect or metrics that you collect and where you send them. This is like a whole rabbit hole. Like you could spend, I did a whole workshop on OpenTelemetry last year at the Kansas City Developer Conference. So it's a whole rabbit hole. The OpenTelemetry thing's a whole rabbit hole unto itself. But I think it's very worthwhile to take time to learn it and to take time to know how to use it. What whiteboard are you using? I'm using an application called Excalidraw. It's completely free to use. They also have a self-hosted version. I love Excalidraw. I probably use it way too much. Let's see, the OTel collector can fan out to multiple destinations. It can indeed. Yeah, that's one of the big benefits of it. For now, this is dope. I can use this in my prod instance when I get back from vacation. Yes, it is dope. It is very dope. And you can run it in a Docker container if you want. So you can Dockerize the collector. You can also just run the collector bare metal if you prefer that. I need to push to a ClickHouse database, and we'll probably keep New Relic for ops logs until the ClickHouse database is good enough with Grafana. That sounds like a wonderful plan. Dude, I can't believe these members are still coming. Is that bothering you guys? Is that annoying? Is that running some of you off the alerts? Because I can turn those off if you guys don't like that. I just never imagined I would get 70 gifted members in one sitting. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Unbelievable. I gotta kind of take a minute to kind of compose myself a bit here. I think that was more. I think between Bob and Fernando, I got gifted more things than I have from anybody else this whole Christmas season. Let's Let's see, Tad, how did you get your stream the way it is with the webcam rounded, laid out nice in 9:16? So, Tad, I just use OBS. I'm not sure if you're familiar with OBS. OBS Studio. It's a completely free piece of software, and it works on all the different OSs. And the only thing I do different to stream horizontally is I just go into the settings and I set the base canvas to 1080 by 1920, and that's it. And then I start putting different things on the screen, you know. The rounded corners around my camera, though, that's called a filter in OBS. So I actually apply a mask to it to make the corners rounded. That's how I do it. Bob, it only bothers me that the Stream Elements bot has more XP than I. Yeah, I have no idea how the XP algorithm works. Me neither. I don't really know why YouTube added that as a gamification thing. I'm not really sure what their idea was behind that. But that's just, that's just me. Fernando with 5k XP. Bob, no, I'll take credit, but 90% of that was Fernando. You both should get credit for the Stream Elements bot. I think the XP algo works with the level of engagement during live streams. Ah, that makes sense. Well, we need to do another update to the members list here. So give me 1 second to do that. We now have, how many members do we have now? Holy shit, we have 87 members. Holy crap. That's nuts. Well, oh, chat, I don't even know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say. Have you seen Welcome to Derry yet? Makes Stranger Things look like child play. I have not seen Stranger Things or Welcome to Derry. Is Stranger Things worth watching? Does anybody else recommend watching that? I've kind of missed out on that whole phenomenon. Alright. So now we should have protection against re-renders, which is good. Welcome to Derry is way more brutal. Learn with Abdul Bari. Hello, Learn with Abdul Bari. How are you? You use Gemini? I do. So I pay for Gemini and I pay for Copilot. I use Gemini primarily to do stuff like this, where I ask it questions like when I'm not really sure how to do stuff, or I want to, I kind of use Gemini more like Google search. And then I use Copilot in my editor is what I use for my AI like tab completion, That's what I use in my editor. So those are the two AI tools that I pay for. I do have Copilot CLI and the Gemini CLI installed on my machine, but I don't use them a ton. I still very much enjoy writing code like a caveman. I just get so much enjoyment from actually like writing the code and thinking through the solution, and so take that for what it's worth, I guess. And the reason I chose, and you might say, well, why did you choose Gemini? The reason I chose Gemini was I already had a Google Pro subscription. I already had a Google Pro subscription. I think I was paying $10 a month for that. And they offered for $10 more a month, you could get all the AI features. So I just was like, yeah, sure. Upgrade me for $10 more a month. Out of curiosity, what is Chat's role in tech stack? Working as a .NET junior dev with some occasional front.js work. Ooh, I love me another .NET dev. Nice to meet you, man. Gemini is good for search. Claude is best for code. I mean, I think Gemini writes perfectly capable code myself, but I mean, I've only used Claude for work. So I don't know if I should say that. I should just say all my experience using Anthropic has been work related, and I've had good experience using Anthropic's API and the Claude family of models. I just don't use it in my personal stuff. Let's see. I use Copilot at work, but refuse to use AI when coding in my free time. Better for learning, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more. I think in the context of learning, I think you need to use AI very, very intentionally. But at work, yeah, I totally understand using it at work. You need to fly through some stuff. You need to be productive, like full send, right? It's going to be difficult. It's difficult if you're not using AI at work. It's probably difficult to keep up with somebody who is. Just kind of a fact of the matter nowadays. Will you use Claude Code and VS Code and let me know what you think? I don't think you can have access to Claude Code without paying, right? I use Copilot and VS Code, and I really, really enjoy it. Bob Knoll, I pay for ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude Max. I have an AI problem. Well, that's pretty cool. So you have access to all those. Yeah, I mean, I say why not? Why not? If you can afford it and you got the budget for it, why not, right? Holy shit! I must have a bug in my code because the member list is wrapping. I just noticed that. Sorry, I didn't notice that till just now. The members list is like on another. I've never had that problem. Apparently, we've encountered some bug in my code. It's on a whole nother new line. Hold on. Let me see if I can figure out what that's about. Notepad. Shouldn't be on a new line. I don't know why. Oh, I wonder if someone had a new line in their name, maybe. Yeah, it looks like someone had a new line in their name. There we go. Okay, well that's something I need to handle in my code, huh? Let's see, code. Let's see. Send me the update script. I'll make a cron job and find a way to run it cheaply. Yeah, but are you gonna scrape the site? I don't. I don't want you to scrape the site on my behalf. You can find the code on my GitHub though. If you want to see the code I used to update, I can get it for you. One sec. 1 second. Which I guess if you're the one running the cron job, I don't have to worry about that. Then you're the one in trouble for doing it. Oh, do I not have this? I guess I don't have this on my GitHub. I'll put this on my GitHub. There we go. We fixed it. I just had to trim the name. Trim the name property. So who would put a new line in their username? I bet that was a copy and paste mistake. Trust me, no one is getting in trouble. Are you sure, Fernando? I don't know. I'll put it on my GitHub and I'll link it in Discord. I'll drop it in the projects channel once I put it on the Discord. Or sorry, I'll drop it in the projects channel in Discord once I put it on my GitHub, is what I meant to say. Alright, so we have our status. Now we need to render different things out based on what this status is. So this status can be, or sorry, not, so if status equals loaded, then let's see. Then what we want to do is we basically want to check and see what can this be equal to. Status of this payment intent, one of requires payment method, requires confirmation, requires action. Read more about each payment intent status. Requires confirmation. After the customer provides their payment information, the payment intent is ready to be confirmed. If the payment requires additional action, the payment intent has processing after required actions are handled. Man, so we basically have to handle all these different states. So I think for now what I'll do is I'll just say, hey, you're loaded. Hey, Shudo, what's up, man? Good morning. Good to see you. Thank you for the jewels. Appreciate that. I don't know what the jewels mean, but I really appreciate the jewels. Stripe single-handedly has the best docs. They really do. They really do have good docs. You can tell that they put a lot of effort, into their docs. A lot of effort, which I really appreciate, I think we all can appreciate that because we've probably all worked with sites that have terrible docs. Now this is going to be so bad. I need to style this. We need to style this. So we need to go here and go to app.csx. to delete it. So what we want to do is we want dot payment confirmation card. There we go. Thank you, Copilot, again. Although I want to display this within here. Someone, Shudo, you're sending me all your jewels, man. What are jewels? We need to figure out what that is. I don't like that it's going smaller and larger, smaller and larger. You last kind of fucked up. You write your own CSS. I'm gonna pin that. That might be the best message that I've gotten in chat today. Well, it's like the fourth best message because I got one super chat and 2 gifted memberships. So it's like the fourth best. But that is becoming the pinned message. You're like the 10th person who has said that to me. Like, why don't you just use Tailwind, bro? Fernando, can you send me your libraries that you are building for my own streaming content when I start? Is this a C# script? That's what I loved in the beginning. Yeah, I can for sure send you. So I can send you, I have the viewership count. I have membership monitor and I have the viewership count thing that I can send you. They're both just like scripts that run. They're nothing really too fancy about them, but I can send you the links to the GitHub repos whenever I get the membership monitor up there. I'll stick that in the Discord. Use AI, bro. Well, I did use AI to generate that CSS. You know, I mean, I did. Copilot wrote all this. I take your point, though. I take your point. You last best TUI I have seen today, bro. This one? This TUI? Yeah. It is a good TUI. But I didn't build this. This is somebody else's TUI. Oh, membership thing? Oh, you like that? Yeah. The membership thing's pretty cool. The membership count, or this is the viewership, and this is the tool I use just to update the membership list that scrolls across. Yeah, open source project would be fun. Yeah, I don't know though what would be a fun project to build as a group. I need more coffee. Shoot, I have no idea. I figured you gave these to everyone in the stream, but I don't know how it works. I've never clicked the button until today. Well, thanks for clicking the button, man. Thank you for clicking the button. Shudo, I missed your first message. Good morning to you, man. We are just chilling and coding. How's the Stripe API learning come? Yeah, the Stripe API actually is working. Like we basically have it working. So if we go here, we actually have a full complete flow. Except for the server side, we're not handling the webhooks yet on the server. But we can actually go through a full payment flow. So put your amount, you can put your email here. If you'd like a receipt, which I need to add some UI around this. And then you can put your card information in. We'll just use some test card numbers from our good friends over at Stripe. And we'll do 888-662. Nobody steal my credit card information. We'll pay. And there you go. So we have a full flow. So now what I need to do on my end is I need to listen for the payment intent success event on my back end. And I need to use that. I need to have a webhook that receives that event and then sticks it in a database so that on the main screen I can actually render the list of people who have paid. And what else? I need to handle all the different success messages that can come through here. So we have a few more things to implement. Let's go to Fizzy real quick. I'm gonna run upstairs and get some more coffee, but let me collect my thoughts here. So we did do payment creation on the server. We looked up that. We still have stuff to do on the client here. One thing we need to add is kind of what Fernando was talking about, is add OpenTelemetry on server, add OpenTelemetry on client. There was something I just said a minute ago. Oh, add webhook to server to handle payment intent events. Persist successful payment to DB. Display list of previous donors on client. So we still have quite a big work ahead of us. But we're making progress. It's taking a bit because I'm only working on it during the stream, and I get super distracted when I receive $100 super chats. Hey, what's up, Code to Build IO? How are you? Thanks for a membership gift, brother. Yeah, that was from Fernando. If Fernando's still here. Fernando, let me jump in and do the OpenTelemetry bits. So the code is in the, if you go to the description of the stream, the repo for this code is down below. So if you want to jump in, you're welcome. I'm happy to accept your PR. Thank you, Shudo, for the jewels again, man. I appreciate that. Shudo, oh, that's very cool. I've never thought to learn a payment processor gateway. Do you have a particular project in mind for the future to accept payments through Stripe, or just learning for now? So the first thing I'm doing right now, Shudo, is I'm really just learning, because I feel like that's a good skill to have. I feel like I should know how to accept payments if I'm gonna call myself a developer to some extent. I just feel like I should have some awareness of, like, how would you do that? If somebody asked me to build them something that required people to pay them for it, like, I need to have some awareness of it. So that's why it was something I wanted to learn. As far as a future project, I have a couple in mind. There's this project that I've had sitting on a shelf for the last 12 months where one of the things I see in my day job is that people often need to build bespoke integrations between systems. And I think it would be cool to have something like N8N, sort of a no-code tool that allows people to do essentially ETL jobs, like describe ETL jobs, but do it in sort of a declarative way in a no-code declarative way. That would allow it would basically try to make it easier for people to build those ETL jobs and do it faster than writing, like, scripts from scratch, right? Writing a Python script or a Node script or something and putting that on a server and running it on a cron job. You could use my tool to help make that a little easier. So that's one idea that I could see charging people money to use. But yeah, so I want to know how to do it, right? So that when I do want to use it, I'm not completely out of my depth. Did YouTube just launch this Jules thing today? I have no idea, man. I have no idea. So let's look this up because I don't actually know what that's about. Also, why am I in Edge? I have no idea why I'm in Edge. Let's see, YouTube Jules. YouTube Jewels are virtual currency viewers buy in bundles to send digital gifts during eligible vertical live streams, showing appreciation for creators who earn rubies from these gifts. So I I earn rubies from your jewels? Huh. A new way for creators to earn. Jewels are a digital item that viewers can purchase in bundles to send a variety of gifts on eligible... Well, thank you guys for sending me your jewels then. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Fernando, sorry, I can't find the link in the description. What repo is it? Oh, I can hook you up with Fernando. Also, Tad, I let you into the Discord. And same thing for Life's a Meme. I don't know who that is, but I approved all the Discord apps. ULAS. Airflow greater than cron job. Yeah, I mean, I know there's other tools out there that do that sort of thing, and I know a Python script with a cron job suits a lot of cases. I just think it would be cool. Like, one of the things I had never built before is I've never built a node-based editor. Have you guys seen like NAN, or there's lots of products that have this where you can build a workflow of things using sort of a graph with nodes and connectors and stuff. I've never built a UI like that, and I think that would be really fun to learn how to do that. I'm guessing there's some library out there people use, but I think that would be a lot of fun to learn. What was I doing? I was getting the repo for... Here's the repo, Fernando, if you're curious. Fernando, that sounds very difficult, brother. Good luck. Well, I appreciate that from you. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the difficult projects, right? But I've just never built a UI, like that. So I think it'd be fun to try to do it at least once in my life. Nice, man. That's a great point. You can manually charge for your own services down the line and handle the payments without relying on some middleman. Yeah, I mean, Stripe's still kind of a middleman, but ULAS was saying that I should offer ULAS was telling me that I should learn Bitcoin by integrating blockchain payments. Or not, he wasn't saying Bitcoin, sorry. I misspoke. ULAS was saying I should learn blockchain by accepting cryptocurrency as a payment into this donation website, which I thought was kind of an interesting idea. I know nothing about blockchain, right? And I know very little, even littler about cryptocurrency, but that would be kind of fun. What's this Fizzy thing? Is it good? Is it free? Does it work on your phone? So I don't think Fizzy has an actual app. It does work on the phone from the website. You can go to it from your browser. So Fizzy is a product by 37 Signals. So if you're familiar with like DHH or Jason Fried or their company 37 Signals, this is their newest product. 37 Signals is also the people that are behind Basecamp. I think Basecamp is their most successful product. But Fizzy is basically like a new take on a Kanban board. I really enjoy DHH. I really enjoy Jason Fried. I listen to their podcast all the time, and so I try to support the things they make and the things they do, and try to use things that they make. So when I saw Fizzy get released, I was like, sure, I'll sign up. Why not? It is free. It's free for your first 100 cards. And then after that, you have to pay a monthly fee if you want to have more cards than 100 at a time in your account. You can have different boards. You can collaborate with people if you want. It's a pretty interesting tool. I haven't been using it. I've only been using it for a couple weeks, but it's been cool to use. Yeah, for sure. Fizzy.do is the website. If you're curious, you want to go peek around. Fizzy.do. I kind of love the UI. I think the UI is very interesting. It's completely different than anything else on the web right now, and I kind of enjoy that. It's definitely better than GitHub Projects, that's for sure. GitHub Projects I like the idea of GitHub Projects, but the UI is not the greatest. Fizzy.do. There you go. All right, I'm gonna run upstairs real quick and get a cup of coffee, and I'll be right back. So if you're not gonna stick around, I totally get it. If you don't want to stare at an empty chair, that's totally fine. Thank you so much for hanging out here. I'm just gonna go upstairs for 2 minutes, so if you do want to stick around, this might be a great time for you to run up and get yourself a hot beverage. Or I guess you might not be going upstairs. You might not be in your basement, but I'm in my basement, so I'm going up. You ask, who likes what GitHub does like any other open source? Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate GitHub, the resources GitHub has made available to me as a developer who I've largely not given GitHub barely any money for most of the resources I use. I only give GitHub money for Copilot, essentially, right? So I'm very appreciative of the resources they provide sort of just for free to the open source community. But yeah, there's some things left to be desired over there, for sure. Let's see, do you want me to build an OpenTelemetry connector for this app in C#? Sure, Fernando, you can. There should already be one, though. There should be. I just always use the OpenTelemetry C# SDK. And they have the C# SDK for OpenTelemetry is great. It has a bunch of auto instrumentation for the HTTP client. It's got a bunch of whiz-bang features in it that you basically just add it and you call a bunch of extension methods and you have a ton of auto instrumentation just out of the box. So that's what I would use is the C# SDK for the OpenTelemetry stuff. They've also got a JavaScript one too as well, so that's what I would use on the front end. Would I ask too much if you create a Telegram channel? No, we can create a Telegram channel. I believe I have Telegram, Ulas, but yeah, we can do that. I can for sure do that. What web server are you using for your sites? I've been experimenting with Traffic. Seems pretty sick. I've heard good things about Traffic. I've heard good things too about Caddy, Brute Monsters. But I primarily use Nginx, and that's not a comment on Nginx being better than Traffic or Caddy. It's more of just a comment on what I'm comfortable with and what I've used in the past. So I've tried to use. I actually have a machine over here. I repurposed an old MacBook Air as a server in my house, and I actually have Caddy set up on that machine, and I'm using Caddy on that machine, and it was really easy to work with and really easy to use. So maybe at some point I'll migrate everything to it, but for the most part, most of my sites are using Nginx as the web server. Either they're using Nginx as a web server or they're being proxied to from Nginx. Bro, I got the app. Nice. Very cool. GH is probably the least compliant open source ever. Yeah, or least complaint. Least complaint open source ever. Yeah. Good point. Stripe is a middleman. I meant more so being able to avoid a website middleman to handle payments for you. For example, maybe Wix, Shopify, or some platform like that. No, yeah, exactly, Shudo. That's exactly what I was thinking. As I was thinking, hey, if I wanted to sell a piece of software and put it behind a paywall, I would know how to do it, right? I know there's something to be said about using some of those services, right? Just in terms of like speed to market and you don't have to worry about that stuff. They take care of it all, but I like the idea of at least having the skill, you know? Good morning, Minister of Defense. You missed out. We kind of were having a crazy stream earlier today. Somebody dropped Fernando here in chat dropped like 70 or 50 gifted, $100 super chat, and then Bob Knoll dropped 20 gifted. It was crazy there for a minute. But good morning. How are you doing? Shudo seems really useful for this reason. Agreed. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Shudo. Fernando, don't ever get off Nginx, bud. Okay, I'll stick with it. That's what I've been using. That's what I've been using. I've just heard good things about Caddy. I've heard that Caddy and using Caddy on that machine over here, getting HTTPS working was super freaking easy. It was super easy. I mean, Nginx is pretty easy if you use certbot and Let's Encrypt, but Caddy was even simpler. Minister of Defense, I'm doing good, but I'm blind. Broke my glasses this weekend. Dude, that's the worst. That's the absolute freaking worst. I don't wear glasses. My oldest son wears glasses, and my wife wears glasses. And I actually I bought 3 pairs of glasses this year. So my oldest son, he got a new pair of glasses, and then he broke them. Like he literally like cracked them in half essentially. I think one of the stems he like cracked in half or something. So we had to replace the frames. And then those frames broke again, so we had to replace the frames a second time. And then my wife and I were having a conversation about it, and we were like, well, it doesn't make sense for him to just have the one pair of glasses because he's a kid. If he breaks them, then he's blind, right? So we bought another pair of glasses. Well, we basically bought another pair of lenses. We took his old glasses and we stuck new lenses in the old frames. Yeah, I don't envy you glasses wearer. It's a very complicated thing you guys have going on. Fernando, it should never be difficult thanks to Let's Encrypt, but of course someone will reinvent the wheel. Yeah, 100% someone will reinvent the wheel, Fernando. Most definitely. When I use Nginx, I basically configure my site for Nginx, and then I use certbot. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward after that. Use Let's Encrypt these days as use Cloudflare as the main tunnel / DNS. I do use Cloudflare as the main proxy now for most of my stuff. Yeah. I put Cloudflare in there because I felt like they just offer so much protection and so much free, like if someone tries to DDoS you, right? Like you can just rely on Cloudflare's behemoth strength to fend off such attacks. Mochi, wow, yeah, that's what I said, Mochi. I couldn't believe it. It was Fernando, the guy that's been commenting in the chat. That's who did it. Fernando did it. It's freaking nuts. Okay, I'm really gonna go get coffee now. I'll be right back. Fernando, don't DDoS me, please. Exactly. A chair. Actually, the chair might be even better than me. Maybe I should get some like cardboard cutout that I can stand in whenever I go and get coffee. Maybe that's what we need to add to the stream. We will DDoS together. No, please don't DDoS me. No, please. Don't do it. We need data.status equals error. We want this. I actually think I don't know. Ternary. I'm not sure if I like the ternaries. They're kind of ugly. Yeah, I don't think I like that. Oh. All right, let's go to the back. Let's go to the back end for a second. Let's try to add the webhook for the back end. So right now we just have one thing here. Map create intent endpoints. No worries, man. A man with a Mac probably can't DDoS. I don't know. I bet you'd be surprised what a man with a Mac can do, right? Let me load my net tools. Okay. So, how do we register a place to receive webhooks events, right? That's the... So we have our server. Does this? I don't think this goes through that, does it? So complete the URL, handle errors, here you go. Handle payment events. Stripe sends multiple events during the payment process. And after the payment is complete, create an event destination for a webhook endpoint to receive these events and run actions. Okay. Listen for these events rather than waiting on the callback from the client. On the client, the customer could close the browser window or quit the app before the callback executes, and malicious clients could manipulate the response. Setting up your integration to listen for asynchronous events is what enables you to accept different types of payment methods with a single integration. So how do I do that? Integrate with events. Use thin events when data integrity is critical. Your application must act on the most up-to-date information. Open the Webhooks tab in Workbench or use the Event Destinations API. So this is where I'm going to need something like ngrok, right, to handle the payments coming back from Stripe locally. Ramez Y, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you. All right, so let's go to the Webhooks tab. Alright, so it looks like this is the tab I get. So I can add a destination. And I guess I want something to do with payment. I guess I only really care about successful ones, right? This is a webhook endpoint. This is grounds for support dot Stephen freeborn.com and this is going to be local. This is the destination used for local development of grounds. I've never done this before, so this is all. I mean, I've used webhooks before locally, but I've never done it with Stripe. So now we need a webhook URL, but I don't want you guys to know about the webhook URL. I don't need you guys blasting my webhook. Let's see. So I usually use ngrok for this stuff. I don't know about you guys. What do you guys use for local webhook stuff? Let's see, you can create a Lambda that fetches the event or just add a task in the current PC. You're going to need to constantly fetch them though and probably write it to the DB. I think I'm just gonna, that's why I think I'm gonna use a webhook, right? I'm just gonna listen on my server and say, whenever that succeeds, okay, no, whenever the payment intent succeeds, I'll stick the payment in the database. So that's my plan at the moment. I don't know if that's right or wrong, that's my plan. Hey, what's up, MD? How are you? Fernando, don't you dare share that webhook with me. There's a lot of reverse psychology going on in this stream. Minister of Vince. Been using ngrok since 2018, but I hate that they make you create an account now. Yeah, they do make you create an account. Yep. ELAS, that is how it is done normally. Okay, cool. So that's my plan then. My plan is to handle the successful ones with the webhook. So I need to, do I have ngrok installed here? I don't think I do. Oh, nope, I do. Okay, so then I need to start a named tunnel is what I want to do. So I want to do ngrok http and I want to point it at the same URL where my server is listening. So we are on local, I think we're on localhost. I think we're localhost 7141. Yeah, 7141. So HTTP 7141. Of course, I have an update. Make sure you rewrite it in Rust next month. Exactly. You may want to duplicate the DB for reliability and security reasons. Yeah, so I'll have a backup. The place where I host these apps is backed up, or the data on disk is backed up, and I'm just gonna use SQLite as a database for this. I don't think I'm gonna have very many people actually use this website, so I'm not too worried, and I'm not too worried if if something fails with it, you know. So I'm just gonna use, I'm just using the bare minimum, whatever's the easiest. See you, Sean Dev. Hope you have a good day. Have to go practice calculus and bang my head on a desk. Dude, I am not jealous of you at all. You're leaving here to go practice calculus? No, thank you. Ekle, I think is how you say your name. Ekle, thanks for subscribing. I appreciate you. Thank you for subbing. When I went upstairs earlier to get coffee, I was expecting my wife to be upstairs because normally she's up at this time making lunches for the kids, but they're still on break. So I have to go back to work today, but they're still on break, so they're all sleeping still. And I was like, damn, maybe I should have took more time off. Alright, so how do we get domains? There we are. Seven 141. I lost my window. I'm gonna do events. Okay, now what I need to do is I have to go to my server and I have to actually add that webhook, right? So I need a events, an events endpoint. So how do I? Stripe, C# SDK, setting up a webhook. Set up in the, man, they have Stripe has documentation for everything, for literally everything. It's awesome. Any tips for being a morning bird like yourself? Do you go to bed around 9 p.m. or something? So I've actually been very good about going to bed at a decent time. I usually go to bed about 10 o'clock or somewhere between 8 and 10. It depends on what I'm doing and what I've gotten myself into that day, but somewhere between 8 and 10. I guess the only real tip I have for being an early morning bird is if you want to get up early, don't listen to that. There's a voice in your head when you first wake up that's always like, just another couple minutes. Whenever you hear that voice, you have to turn that voice into like a cue to get out of bed, right? That's basically you have to turn that voice or that thing that you hear that's like, oh, just a couple more minutes. That has to be, you have to flip that in your mind to like, that means it's time to get up. Or at least that's my trick, is now, so like I hear my alarm, when I feel the urge to stay in bed, that's what I use to wake up. I don't know if that's helpful at all. That's my only real tip though. I mean, obviously going to bed early makes it easier, but some days I don't go to bed early. Some days I'm bad because I try to be a night owl and an early bird, and then that doesn't last for very long. Fernando, can you add Famero to your repo? I am ready to add an OpenTelemetry. So I won't add you. I'm not gonna give you permissions to my repo. But if you want to fork the repo and open a PR against from your fork, so fork my repo, check out a branch, make your changes, push the branch up to GitHub, open a PR, from your fork, from your branch into my repo's main branch, I'll be happy to review it. Yes, you should have. I'm off this week. Yeah, I should have taken off this week. Minister of Defense, you don't think many people are going to see your website? Where is your positive thinking? I know I should have better self-talk, shouldn't I? I just don't believe, like, I still don't believe that there's people here right now hanging out with me. I don't know. In my mind, I just don't think people are interested in the stuff that I'm doing, but so I never really anticipate people like using the things I make or consuming the things I make. You last, bro. If you had a wallet integration, I can example your website in my lectures. Oh, that would be great. So you lost. If you have any examples of how one does that, like if you have like YouTube videos or code or like any kind of helpful resources that would help me figure out how to do that, that would be awesome. I don't know if you're in my Discord, but if you could, even if you're not in the Discord, if you could join the Discord, drop those helpful tidbits and then leave, that's totally okay. You don't have to stay in the Discord, but that's the best way to get me like your recommendations. Bob Knoll, two birds, one Steven. Yeah, exactly. Night owl and early bird, and it doesn't last long. You lost. We are here. Well, I appreciate you guys. I do appreciate you all. Blood Moon, what do you think about using AI as coding buddy? Because C# documentation is not beginner friendly. Well, first off, I will say some of the C# documentation, yes, is not super beginner friendly, and some of the generics in that the documentation is very confusing. I think AI, I don't think there's anything wrong with using AI as a coding buddy. If you want to pair with an LLM to code, I think that's totally fine. I think you just have to be very mindful about how you use AI. You have to be intentional about it. Like, am I using AI to learn or am I using AI to be productive? Those two contexts are very different, in my opinion, in terms of how you use AI. So that's the only thing I would be mindful of, Blood Moon, is just pay attention to, like, I'm learning versus I'm productive, and if I'm in learning mode, I want to use the LLM much more like a mentor or like a senior developer, right? Then I want to use them as like my junior intern that I'm gonna assign tasks to, if that makes sense. Como, dead internet theory moment. I don't think the internet's dead. I think the internet is probably gonna. I think the internet will probably see, at some point, the internet's gonna see a renaissance, or at least the web is gonna see a renaissance. I think at some point. I think that's largely dependent, though, on something like the Fediverse becoming mainstream, right? We need something like email, but for social media. That's what we need. And I think until we get to something like that, the web is going to continue to be monopolized by like a few platforms. But the moment we can have the same kind of social network-like effect that you get on some of these social media platforms, as soon as you can bring that out of those platforms' walled gardens and you can make that more of a decentralized experience, I think we might see the web come back alive again. ULAS Rainbow Kit is a cool library you could use for wallet integration. Okay, let me write that down real quick. Let's see. Wallet, what'd you call that? Wallet? No, Rainbow Kit. Sorry, Rainbow Kit. Rainbow Kit. Rainbow Kit. Excuse me. 300 Killer Monkey. Just wanted to say morning. Got a gifted sub. I watch your shorts and the occasional stream. Love what you're doing. Keep it up. Killer Monkey, that might be one of the nicest messages I've received in one of my streams in a long time. So that's very kind of you, man. I'm super glad you got one of the gifted subs. That's courtesy of our good friend Fernando down there in chat. He's the one. Or Bob. Bob Knoll also gifted 20. Bob Knoll gifted 20 and Fernando gifted 50. So we've had ourselves quite an exciting morning on stream today. Fernando, fuck that, brother. Make that shit do every task for you and make sure you're senior enough to understand where to steer it. Well, The question is, though, how do you get senior enough to learn how to steer it, right? And so that's why I think that's why it's important to like understand what context you're in. Like, are you in the productivity context where you're just trying to get a lot of shit done, or are you trying to elevate yourself to more to be able to better steer, right? The AI. Can you review the PRI fork? Let's see if Claude Code did a good job integrating OpenTelemetry. Oh, for sure. Let's take a peek. Oh, is this Claude Code? Let's see. Let's look at what it did. Got some meter, good. Okay, I like this. Application meter, good. We got the meter factory injected. So the meter creation looks good. It added some methods to mutate those meters publicly. I like that. Looks like it added the console exporter. We're probably going to want this OpenTelemetry exporter is probably what we're going to want, but the console's fine for now. We added our application metrics. That's good. We added the auto instrumentation for ASP Core Net. Yep. ASP client instrumentation is good. We have a service name. Let's see, example. Okay, yep, we're testing. Yeah, that looks good. The only thing we need to do is we just need to refactor where we actually, well, your code, I need to merge your code into my existing code so that we can actually use the metrics in the endpoints that will leverage them. Hey, root monsters, man, that is too kind. Yeah, this is really good. Thank you very much, Fernando, for putting this together. I'm going to wait to merge this until I get the stuff I have locally pushed up, because I'd like to take the application metrics and use that in the endpoints that I've added. But yeah, that was awesome. Fernando, I'm in the productivity construct right now. Well, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, thank you very much for doing this. I think the only thing I'm going to add to this is I'm going to add the OpenTelemetry exporter so I can send this to Seek, but that's the only thing I'll probably change. Although Seek doesn't do metrics. Seek doesn't do metrics, so I might have to refactor that. I might have to think about what to use for the metrics instead of Seek. What can we use instead of Seek for metrics? There's not really a good solution for metrics that isn't like really overkill. Root Monster, thank you for becoming a member. Let's update the members list real quick. So let's do Notepad. And I've never had to update the members list so many times in a stream. Which I guess is a good thing. We now have 88 members of the YouTube channel. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate y'all. Then we'll do .NET. Booyah. Duck Boy, got back from dinner. What did I miss? You missed... well, I don't know if you missed anything, actually. I'm going to tell Claude that it needs to do a better job. No, I mean, it did a perfectly adequate job. I mean, that's exactly what you do. I mean, I think that's almost exactly what's in the OpenTelemetry documentation. The auto instrumentation, this is basically exactly from their docs. So that rocks, man. That rocks. Thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate you. Let's see, public, or sorry, namespace. This dot server. public, or no, sorry, internal static class. It's going to be an events endpoint. I don't want that. So what I want is I want a private const string, and then I want a internal static void. And I just want to return app.map post. Whoops. Route. Then I'm going to have a handler. And that signature is going to be very similar to this signature. Events handler. This returns a what? This returns a route handler builder. Yeah. And now what we can do is we can come in here and we'll just add another call to app.map events endpoint. And we'll go. Dude. Duckin' Boy, thank you very much, man. That's so kind of you to send a gifted sub. And the Wandering Warrior got the gifted sub. Let's go. Thank you very much. That's so nice of you guys. Oh, another one? Holy crap. Oh, no, man. Another one? Root Monsters, no problem. Thanks for making good streams and content, bro. Well, I appreciate that. I don't know if any of it's good, Root Monsters, but I'm making it. And if you're appreciating it, I appreciate that. So... Thank you very much, Ducking Boy. Well, that's as much as I can do. Well, that's more than enough, Duck. That's more than you needed to do, and whether it's 1 or 100, it's very appreciated. I know how hard it takes to get money. You guys are crazy, dude. That's nuts. I want y'all to know that. Like, I understand how hard y'all probably work for your cash, and so that the fact that you would send some of it to me to help support what I'm doing with my channel is just, that's crazy. It's crazy. So thank you very, very much. I don't even know, I don't think my words are probably expressing how grateful I feel. I'm not sure how to express it, but thank you very, very much. Yo, we are going to need Prometheus to store those metrics instead of Seek. Do you need help with this? I don't think so. I have an instance of Prometheus and Grafana set up that I'm using for another application. So I think I could probably just use that instance is what I could do. So that's what I'm thinking I'll do. I just joined in the most interesting... Hey, Gun, what's up, man? How are you doing? Thanks for being the member, Gun. Appreciate you. Good to see you again. We've had a crazy stream this morning, man. I'm basically to the end of it because today I go back to work, so I have to probably wrap up here in a few minutes. But we've had a crazy stream this morning. We've actually had a fairly productive stream too. We got some stuff done in the code, which is, I mean, it's, you know, that's saying something for me. But we've also had a crazy stream. People have given gifted memes. We had a super chat, big ass super chat. It's been crazy. Just code, that'd be enough for us. Well, I appreciate it. I very much appreciate it. Got also emotional. What the? I can't help it, man. I can't help it. I'm a dad now. I get emotional about everything. Yeah, I get emotional about everything. All right. Well, it is 7 o'clock, and I've got to be at work in about an hour, so I need to I need to set my YouTuber life aside, and I have to go do my real life now. So I'll do my normal wrap up. How many of us are here? We have 51 of us here. Wow. See, like even that, like 51 people. Imagine a room with 51 human beings in it. That's a lot of people. I can't believe that there's that many people here. I can't believe you have to go back. I do, man. I should have taken off this week. I took off all last week. I should have used. We have unlimited PTO where I work. I should have used it. I should have used it. Anywho, thank you guys all for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. You make these streams far more interesting than if I was just alone in my basement talking to myself. So thank you very much for hanging out with me. If you're new here though, and you want to come back and hang out on stream, this is my schedule. I put that in chat. My schedule is usually 4:15 a.m. Central Standard Time to 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. I try to be live every morning. Sometimes on the weekends I'll go a little bit later based on kind of what's going on with the family and just, you know, stuff like that. So if it's the weekend, I'll usually go a little bit later, but during the work week I kind of have to have a hard stop because of work. If you're wanting to interact with us outside of stream, though, the best place to find us is Discord, which you can join. No pressure, but if you want to join, come on in. And then if I don't see you in tomorrow morning's stream, maybe I'll see you in the comments of a short or video. I always try to get back to everybody there, so if you want to get in touch with me, you can always drop a comment there, and I'll try my best to get back to you in a timely manner. And with that, I'll wish you just a wonderful Monday. And if it's already Tuesday, I hope it's a great Tuesday for you as well. Bye, Duck. I appreciate you. Thanks, Ulas. Thank you both. Thank you all for the gifted memberships. Duck, thank you for your gifted. Ulas, thanks you for you gifted. Bob, thanks for your gifted. Fernando, thanks for your gifted and your super chat. I appreciate all you guys. Bye, Duck. Bye, Ulas. Bye, Bob. Bye, Fernando. Who else is here? Gun Highs. Hope you have a great day, man. Who else? Ab. No, those are all gifted. Sorry. I'm just trying to catch everybody who was in the Root Monsters. Thanks for becoming a member, man. Have a good day. Just trying to catch everybody who was here recently. All right. Yeah, I think I got everybody. Bye, chat. Have a great day. Bye. See you guys. Really appreciate you. You made my day.